Good morning. It's Old Fisherman back with you again. Friday morning today, and we have got a white perch on this morning already. Swimming around the boat while I'm trying to turn the doggone camera on. I need to turn this radio off. We don't need no music going. Hey, we going to try to catch up some more of these monocella jumbo magnum delights this morning. This morning I'm fishing with a little bit different. I started off this morning with no gulp shrimp. I got two You've Got to Love It jigs, a white one and a kind of an orange looking one. And that's what we're going to start with this morning. We're going to start with my jig. You've Got to Love It, and a white one and a little, he's kind of orange looking. Hey, this is something I had blended some stuff together and come up with that color. Kind of like a new penny. It's kind of what it's like. Hey, we're going to drop it down, see if we can catch some more. Man, we had a bonanza day yesterday, people. I'm telling you right now, I had me a ball. I had a pile of fish. Oh my, I cleaned fish half the night, well, half the evening. But I had me one large time yesterday on this lake, and right now it's starting right back like it again. It looks like, I don't know. All I know is, hey, we just caught one on You Got to Love It, new penny color. Oh my, huh? Oh my, and you do have to love it. I'm telling you, buddy, these perch bit yesterday. I changed lines. We're gonna find out if that all that wrapping and tangling and twisting is gonna do any better today. We got some fluorocarbon, seagull fluorocarbon, and we're gonna see if that helps. I never use fluorocarbon. It's already look like it's twisting. I don't know what's wrong. I can't, and this is 8-pound test. That fluorocarbon was a little bit smaller looking than the doggone 6-pound test on the regular old cheap version of fishing line. It was just the old cheap monofilament crappy, Mr. Crappy or something like that. I don't know what I had on that. But hey, they biting. They biting again. I can tell you right now, they biting again. And we're gonna have oh my, already this morning is gonna start to hurt my wrist. This is gonna be another one of them jumbo bonanza days, people. Usually when I get on the perch for a little bit, I can stay on them for a little bit. That ain't all the time. But look at him. Look at him. 2 at a time, and I'm telling you, people, that right there is a jumbo magnum. People, look at this perch already this morning. That, my friend, is almost a pound perch. And hey, he bit the old new penny. Give y'all a close look at my little jigs. Now this one here, that one at the top is a little flat. I'm gonna give y'all a close look up at my little jigs. See that little jig right there? But it's hollow in the back. See that? Hollow in the back. And it makes it do a little glide. That net's a little bit thinner than I like. Now this one right here turned out a little different. They all turn out different. But look at that thing. That's a new penny color. Ain't it pretty? Kind of a burnt orange. Hey, You've Got to Love It. The Old Fisherman made that. He melted down different colors and come up with that. Hey, white, of course, I melted down white on the first one, but we melted it down and put some orange stuff, all kind of little different colors in there, and melted them real slow. And that's what we come up with. And hey, it ain't bad. It ain't bad, and they will bite it. I caught that big bass yesterday. That bass almost weighed 5 pounds. That was a nice bass. And I caught him, and I know I had another big one on. Usually when them bass bite like that, and you've got several jigs on, guess what? You're gonna catch. Most of the time you'll have 2 bass on one. If you got 3 plus, you'll have 3 bass. I went up to 17-pound test when I was catching them bass once before, and every time they would break off. Even to 17, you get any bigger, they won't bite it. It's just that simple. I tried bigger to hold them bass, catch more like 3 or 4 bass at a time. Don't work. Now I'm gonna have problems with this doggone some kind of You Got to Love It jig. This one particular one is really too thin. I got better ones. I might have to get a little bit thicker one. This one turned out thin. I put it on for the reason because I like the thinness of it, and that's gonna make it float softer down when I yo-yo it. But hey, we catching them, and so far this line seems like it's pretty good. I don't know. We'll find out. I haven't never been a big fan of fluorocarbon. I hear all these people talking about fluorocarbon. I don't know. I always use the cheapest thing I can find in fluorocarbon ink, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it might be this real because I see this line's already twisting up. I might have to get me a little bit bigger size reel. This reel might be too small in size for these fish, for this much pulling. And hey, you can see they bite, huh? You can see they bite. They gonna bite just like they did yesterday, and I'm gonna fill that drum up. I had over 100 fish, and if I wouldn't have had so much trouble, I'd have had, God only know how many I'd have had yesterday. Man, I had some fish. I had 2 ice chests full. Oh my, look at him, huh? Oh my, you got to love it jig is all you need. You ain't got to have all that stuff you buy. I can make my jig. All I need is the rubber. All I need is the white rubber. I can make my jig. I don't need to buy all that stuff. I've been spending a lot of money on gulp shrimp. I don't mind telling you. I done spent a lot of money on gulp shrimp. And the whole time I really didn't need to. All I need is just make my own jigs. That's all I need. Oh, this jig here though ain't doing right. I don't like it. It's too thin. It's a little bit too thin. You ain't got enough meat. And it's going in circles, going down. I'm gonna take it off and put one better on there. I got one better somewhere. I'm gonna put another on there. Let me get him this little drum here and get me a thicker you got to love it jig. I know I got some in here somewhere that they'll bite better or just as good as thicker. Got a bunch of thin ones. I made some too thin, people. I obviously made some too thin. Now that one's thicker. Let's try him. Let's try him, see if they'll work. I got enough base on him to hold him on the hook. And that's my fault when I poured in that mold. I ain't pouring it deep enough. Hey, you live and learn. You got to practice before you get good at anything. You're not good at nothing until you get, the more you do something, hey, the better you are at it. And I guess that's why I'm a pretty good fisherman, because, buddy, I've done enough of that. Let me tell you, I have done enough of fishing in my life. My goodness. One old gal I used to go to school with, Susan Cousins, put on Facebook last night a picture of me. I think it was probably in their house, and I was probably about, I don't know if I was even 4 years old, 5 years old, sitting there, man. I was a handsome little devil back then. I got old and ugly now. But, and put a picture up there of me sitting in her house and put it on Facebook. I don't know where she got that picture. Her mama must have had it. She must have got it from her mama's stuff. And one little girl I went to school with said, I forget how cute he was. Hey, I responded back, I said, what you mean, was? Still is. I know they got a kick out of that. Hey, but that was cute, I thought. Yes, sir. I forget how cute he was. Like that was past tense, and I'm sure it was. But hey, I had to get some fun out of it and say, still is. So I reckon they'll be talking about that this morning. That's the thing about Facebook now. They put all kind of stuff on Facebook. But hey, the Old Fisherman, he loves to have a good time. And if I get to talking with you on Facebook, now I can cut up. Huh? I can cut up. That's what got me in trouble in school, cutting up. That's exactly what got me in trouble in school, was cutting up, people. Because the Old Fisherman can do some cutting up. I promise you now. Hey, got to talking. Oh, Lord. Everyone here, I fixed to say they quit biting, but I got to bite. You know, these fish, a while ago, I started about 2 minutes before I turned the camera on, and I come in from where I caught them yesterday and didn't get a bite. I'm thinking, what? I see shad down there, but I didn't see them fish like I wanted to see. So I eased in a little closer, and I started seeing a couple hooks. And that's when I threw out the plug, some couple individual hooks, almost like bass. And that's when I threw out the cup. Now, right now, I've seen shad all up under. So that's what they in here for. They are running after these schools of shad. And if that's the case, that's why yesterday when that sun got up and they could skylight better, it's always a fact. When fish get out in deeper water and they can skylight the baits better, they go. You can catch them better with the sun up. Now, I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna catch them with it cloudy, because you do. But it seems like this, they really get the skylighting, and you can catch several at a time better when it's more sunshine. But hey, it's cloudy right now, and guess what? We got 2 at a time. Guess what? Old Fenrick's done pulled in 2 at a time. You got the Love It jig is producing, and we don't have to buy gulp shrimp. And I got to get that in my head, because it's costing me too much money for gulp shrimp, and I don't even need it. All I need to do is get me some rubber to melt down or buy some. I got to figure out how to get all that stuff. And I done tied myself into a knot here. I don't know how that happened. But it did. Hey, quit wiggling, fish. Fish want to wiggle, and I got things to do here. Huh? He want to wiggle, and Old Fisherman got troubles. Old Fisherman don't like troubles. He likes everything going smooth. Trolling motor's just a whining and going, and here I am getting off the fish I just found, focusing on a jig, and you know what happens when the Old Fisherman don't focus. Oh no! I'm looking 31 foot, and what do I see? A fish finder full of fish. I'm using a Garmin 550C colored fish finder. It's nothing expensive. It don't have GPS. It don't have all that stuff that you don't need. Unless you're going to be fishing a lot of strange lakes, you might want a GPS. But for somebody like me that fishes the same area, I don't need no GPS. I can get back on my spots. I ain't stupid. But hey, I guess GPS for people that ain't too confident. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident. And I ain't got to have GPS. What happens? That's just like when my wife's got a bad habit of this. You get in your mind that you got to write down everything. You go in the grocery store, if you don't write it down, you go to the grocery store, you don't forgot what you're supposed to get. Hey, you know what that is? You're using that writing down as a crutch. All you got to do is focus. And you remember what you're going to get at the grocery store. You don't need to write it down. You place that in that memory bank. Look at him, what a magnum, monticello white perch. Hey, they biting people. Hey, biting. And you know something? He just tore up my doggone, you got to love it jig. Now, I'm bragging about how tough they are. What? Hey, gun. And I told you I wasn't going to do that no more, and I did too. I say a lot of things I ain't going to do, and I end up doing it anyhow. Again, I get in a hurry. Hey, I ain't got time to pick down and pick up a pair of scissors and cut them things off. My goodness, fish down there. Huh? They're coming back. They're going to bite again today. It's sure. As we sitting right here, we going to have to clean fish again tonight. And this line ain't doing a bit better. This high dollar fluorocarbon is twisting just as bad as that cheap Mr. Crappie. And I'm telling you, it's something to do with this reel. I'm convinced of that. I need to get me a little bit bigger reel instead of this baby reel on here. And I like the size of it because it's small and it matches my rod. But I'm thinking there's something going on here. And I put it on like it's supposed to. It's twisting up after the fact, after I catch a few fish. It wasn't twisting when I first started, and now it's twisting. So, hey, I don't know. A lot of times, you know, I know how to catch fish good, but I don't know about all these lines and stuff like I should probably. I just use cheap stuff, so I ain't experimented with good stuff. All I know is cheap stuff will catch fish just as good, and you can see it, as expensive stuff. And this line right here wasn't cheap, people. Huh? 2 at a time. Hey, so far I ain't had a break off. I will say that. I shouldn't have said that because the next one I'll probably break off. Hey, and they are eating up, Mr. You got to love it jig. You don't have to have gut shrimp. I'm proving it to you. And I need to get me a bunch of jig material and start pouring different colors of You Got to Love It. I ain't too sure that I ought not get a perfect one and get me a mold made where I can have a real good mold and inject them in there like the real people do instead of pouring stuff and doing it the old-fashioned way. And start making me some of these jigs. So I believe they'll sell. Because I know they catch fish, and you see it. Huh? You see it. You see it. I see it. You ain't got to have all that doggone other stuff that costs so much money. You can go the economy route with these fish. I'm going to throw this one back. I don't want to, but I'm going to throw him back. The economy route will work just as good as the expensive route a lot of times now. Hey, a lot of times in rods it won't now, but some cheap rods won't break. I want to tell y'all how many rods I broke in my time going to picking these fish up. Oh my. If you don't watch what you're doing picking a fish up and you have that rod sticking up and it's bending straight down, she will break. So you got to basically sling them in the boat and know what you're doing and be aware of what the end of that rod is doing, because if you bend it down and it doesn't have enough flexibility, a rod without a lot of flexibility, it will break. Hey, it will break. Especially these ultralight. Now this is one step up This ain't really a tiny, tiny, tiny ultralight. It's got good stiffness in the back and a lot of action right on the end, fast action on the end. I like that because that gives me an opportunity of not breaking this rod. Because if it's real stiff and you bend them over with all these perch on, you will break it. I done it. I know what I'm talking about. And I have broke a bunch of them. I have broke a bunch of rods, but I never broke this Fenwick, and I never broke a cashing rod. Now the cashing rods, somehow or another, where the rod goes into the handle, will start slipping on you. That's the only problem I've had with them. I've had to take a couple of them back, get new ones replaced. They got a lifetime warranty on them, but you got to pay shipping and all that stuff. So. But anyhow, I got by with taking mine back to the store. They allowed me to. I worked at Sportsman Warehouse for a couple months in the archery department one time, just to get a kick out of it. And I didn't knew I wasn't going to do that because I couldn't go fishing like I wanted. I had to go to work making hardly nothing, and that wasn't going to work. This is after I'd done electrical work, kind of in between. I even sold boats one time, holiday camper and boat, believe that or not. Was one of the best tracker boat salesmen there was back then at our company. But hey, won a trip, Table Rock Lake, got to fish with all the pros, and I met them. Kevin Van Dam, Woo Dave, all that bunch. Rick Clun. I've been in the boat with all of them. But hey, good people. They're just normal people like the Old Fisherman. They ain't nothing special. I mean, they special because they was at the right place at the right time. The Old Fisherman might have been special if he'd have been in the right place at the right time. Oh no. See what I'm talking about? Broke. This fluorocarbon ain't a bit better than that other cheap line. Broke, but I don't even remember having a fish on. Broke. I'm telling you people, it's aggravating. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I tied that doggone knot that I normally tie, and it's gonna come loose. Oh my God. I don't understand it. This line is killing me. This situation is killing me. And I know all you people are gonna say, you ain't tied the right knot. But let me tell you something, I tied every knot there is. I don't understand what's going on. Whew. I mean, I take that thing around there. I don't know the names of all these knots. I probably should, and I'm probably embarrassed that I don't. But hey, I do a regular fishing knot. I double my line. When I'm start, I put 2 lines through it one time to double the strength of my line. I always have, and I never have that kind of trouble. And all of a sudden here, I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden, I'm having problems with line. And I don't know what's going on. And it could be, and I wanted this fluorocarbon. I was kind of worried about that stuff too. I don't know how durable fluorocarbon is, to be honest with you. And I know you can have problems with knots with it. I've been told that. So I can double my line, and I take the regular old knot, you twist around. I don't know all the names, and I probably should. But anyhow, I'm going to show my ignorance. And I take it through, and I twist it 10 times or so, a lot. And then I take it back through it and back through again and tighten it down. That thing ain't supposed to slip and go nowhere, but it's been doing it, and I don't understand it. My goodness, I don't understand. I got a double line, and I take both ends through the loop. I pull it up. I come back through the doggone loop again to make sure that it don't twist. And this is hard to do when you're half blind. That might be my trouble. Maybe I ain't getting the thing through there like I think I am. And then I weten it. I weten it to make sure it don't burn itself when I pull it down tight, like they tell you to do. And I pull it down tight. And I'm not cutting my ends up close because I don't want it slipping through, so I'm giving it some room to tighten down. And I do not know why I'm having trouble. Unless these fish, these little gills, you know, with them 2 at a time, it could be that when they fighting each other, they swimming by and them little gill plates is cutting this line, and that could be my problem. It might be my problem. But all I know is yesterday, I lost, I don't know, 4 or 5 different jigs during the day because of this same doggone problem. And we done started off this morning with the same doggone thing with different lines, thinking it was the line. I broke down and bought some more of that high dollar line. I could have bought me 1,000 yards for what I bought 200 yards for, to try to do it right. And what I do? I come up and I'm having problems again. And that, my friend, aggravates the old fisherman. Now, which color did he take? He took my doggone good new penny color. He took my dog, and I ain't got many of them. Huh? I ain't got none. Oh, no. I didn't have many new penny colors. I didn't make many of them. You sucker. Took my new penny color. Let me see if I can find another. My goodness, what am I going to do? Hey, right here's a couple more, I think. Let me see if I can pull a brown one out of here. I want a brown one and a white one on at the same time. One of them won't. Hey, right there looks like a pretty good one. Let's try him. Let's try him. New penny color. I like that color, man, I'm telling you. I like that new penny color. And my white ain't Snow White, because when you reheat, melt down that rubber, it ain't Snow White. And this new penny jig here, I got one that makes a small tail. I don't know. On my mow, I don't know what I'm doing. It makes a small tail. And I don't know if this is good with the small tail or not, or if it even makes a difference. Now see, I didn't get that on there right. I got to get that thing on there right. I don't like a crooked jig. And sometimes people, I have trouble getting that thing on there right. I don't mind telling you. Sometimes I have trouble. Okay, we're back in business. We're back in business. And I'm sorry about that. This doggone breaking off stuff got to stop. I can't take it. Can't take it. It costs me too many fish. And now see what happens, the fish lax and the boat moves and we not on the spot we was on and all that stuff goes into effect. When that happens, I don't even know what I was talking about now. But hey, we was catching some fish. The same old problems is coming back to haunt me. And this so far, this fluorocarbon ain't impressing me worth a darn for what it costs. Them boys talking about all my bass buddies talking about how good this fluorocarbon is. Ain't showing me nothing. All it's showing me is more problems. And I'm still twisting. And I don't want to do. I think it's real. I ain't having that much problem with my other rod. And I got another rod here with a bigger reel on. That's probably the reel. I like this rod, so I need to do some swapping up. That's what I need to do. I got a good reel right here on my crappie rod. That's the rod I need to be using. This is just an old fin rod. I just put a jig on it yesterday and started using it because I want to have more options. Today, you know, I was breaking off yesterday, and I could have picked up my rod at that point because I had two jigs on the other one. But they're not you got to love it jigs. I got a combination on them. So we're going to pull back up here. Y'all bear with me. But I want to tell y'all a little story while we're going back up. I used to raise worms. I let a fella talk me into putting a 50-foot by 30-foot greenhouse up and making 4x8 boxes and raise worms, red worms, Belgian reds. Boy, well, we started off with a regular red worm. We went and he bought some guy out, and we went and I'd helped him move it. He put him a greenhouse up, and I started some worms. We was gonna get rich. Boy, we really, that shows you how we analyze that situation. We was gonna get rich, selling and raising worms. Man, that was the thing to do. Oh my God, if you want to work yourself to death and get nothing for it, that's what you need to do. Raise worms. Anyhow, I done all this work, all this building these boxes, putting up a greenhouse, putting lights in them where they wouldn't crawl out to bed at night and leaving lights burning all night long. Because let me tell you something, you raising worms, you don't have lights on them and a thunderstorm comes up, every worm you got in your bed will be gone. You'll go out the next morning and you ain't got no worms. You thought you had worms, they gone. Let me tell you a story about worms, people. If you got worms and you raising worms in a box, and you just doing it for a hobby, and they lay eggs, well, some worms can't lay but a few times, and they get sterile. I didn't even know that. I'm thinking I can take the same worm, he gonna lay eggs over and over like a chicken. Don't work. But what's even worse is when they lay, and if you don't take and separate the eggs and the little worms away from the big worms will die. That's the way Mother Nature does it. So you got to be able to take the same worms and get as many times out of them as you can. You got to be able to have a machine or a hand pick all them worms out that bed and leave your eggs in there for them to hatch, and then you got to put peat moss and you got to feed them. Lord have mercy, you talking about getting in a pile of something, huh? Now that was a pile of something, worm raising. They bite, they bite. We get back on these fish in a minute. But hey, anyhow, we went through all that. I used to take them worms and sell them to the stores in Beaufort and around that area for spot fishing. When the spots used to come down, you buy worms. Look at that. Got him on my new penny color. And I used to take a run to Beaufort and all around stores around here and sell worms that I raised. That for a while I did anyhow. And cup them and do all that work. Good God, what work it was. My goodness. Anyhow, and when the spots was running, it was a place down in Beaufort, hunting island called the Lagoon. Man, them stores out there told the Lagoon, I used to sell them worms, and they would call me down every couple of days. I finally got where I was shipping them by mail to them. Shipping mail by mail because I spent all my time riding up and down the road. I didn't have time to box worms, so I was taking them to the post office. They were shipping them down to these stores, and hey, I thought I had it going on. Worked me to death, and I made nothing. You want a good write-off, get in the worm business. That's a write-off. You got a lot of expense and no profit, I can tell you that. But anyhow, I went through a period of that, and I want to tell you about a place at Hunting Island State Park. It's called Lagoon. It's a place where they got it's like a little small river. Comes back up in it to keep, I reckon they put it in there to keep it from washing away, but now it's done broke through from the ocean. Ain't the same as it used to be. But you could go in that place, and there'd be hundreds of people sitting on the bank catching spots about the same size. Virginia spots is about the same size as these white perch in that place, and I'm catching the people. But they were catching fish about the same size of these white perch, and you could catch them 2 at a time, 3 at a time. I mean, everybody from everywhere, Orangeburg, all them areas, people knew about that place. You go down there and you could fish off the bank and catch ocean fish in like a pond scenario. But it was like a little, probably wasn't 100 yards across at the widest place. Some places it was a lot narrower. Some places what, 30, 40 yards across. And we had a ball in that place, people. When I first met my wife, guess where I took her for a date just to impress her? I had a Golden Eagle Jeep. Oh my God, I think it was 1978 Jeep. I think it was 78. Oh my God, that thing had the headers on it. Hey, that thing, when you cranked it over, I thought I was something. Had the Golden Eagle on the hood of that thing. It was cream color. Had a brown eagle on the hood. And that thing had a tan canvas top. I mean, that thing was a woman catcher. This ain't no lie. I had old Chevrolet pickup. I couldn't get a girl to go out with me. When I wrecked that Chevrolet pickup and got that Golden Eagle, they was all wanting to go out with the Old Fisherman. Lord have mercy. I think vehicles don't make a difference. But that thing was pretty now. It had the chrome headers. That thing was, I had it polished. I had the big tires on it. I thought I was somebody. Hey, I was then at that point. I thought I was. But anyhow, I met my wife, and I took a old cooker. I might be told this story in a long time ago in a previous video, but I took that old cooker and some water and some butter, and we had it all set up, and some doggone crab lines with some chicken necks and a net, and we went down and we drove that Golden Eagle down to the end of Hunting Island State Park. I know if any of you people ever been down there back when there was still cabins there. They done washed all the way now. The place is a wreck from all these storms. But the cabins were still there. And all the way past down the end of that road through there by the lagoon, you go down to the end at one time, you could drive. Of course, they ended up putting a cabin right where we drove. But back then, this was I'm trying to think what year it was, 80 something. But we drove in there past them down that road and right to the lagoon, right to where the water come in from the ocean, and where it started going up that lagoon. And me and my wife Deborah, we took us a doggone some regular old nylon cord and tied a chicken neck on it. And we sat there and we caught crabs and we cooked them right there when we caught them. We put them in that boiling water. And you talking about fun and good eating, that right there hooked my wife. She knew she was with the old country. She knew she was with the old fisherman at that point. And she wanted that excited her. And from then on, it was all downhill. And that's kind of one of my first dates with Miss Deborah. And then we got to going camping there at Hunting Island State Park in a tent. When the kids, we got married, the kids a little, we had a tent. We didn't have no money to have a camper. Then we stepped up and bought us a little tiny used camper. And we kept moving up, and we've had 1, 2, 3 or 4 campers now. But hey, I'm almost getting too old for that too. Now, that was a good lifetime though, but man, I remember going camping in a tent and having a tarp, had to put a tarp all over the whole thing. It rained so hard. You couldn't get me in a tent this day and time now. I got too old. Oh Lord, that crushed it. Hey, they out there, people. I'm just talking. That's the only reason I ain't killing them. I'm telling you. Only reason I ain't killing them because I'm telling a story. But I thought I'd get the story out the way first today. Hey, they're pretty good size too. And I'm catching them on my jigs. That even makes it special. Anytime you can make your own stuff and make your own jig, it's special. And I'd love to really have time to get into a bunch of that because I got a lot of stuff in my mind I'd like to try. I wish I was 20 years younger doing this. And if I was 20 years younger, it would be an Old Fisherman bait company coming up. But I don't know if I could handle all this work. You know, I just don't know if I can handle it. We got t-shirts ordered now, I'll tell y'all. But we ordered one color first. We got to see, hey, you got to order $1,000 worth almost before you can get a halfway decent price. And it ain't great then. So I'm sticking my head out on a limb. Oh my, look at him with these t-shirts. But anyhow, hey, ain't that much, I don't reckon. $1,000, $1,000 this day and time. And I have some shirts to wear if nobody buys them. I don't care. I mean, I hope they do. That's why I'm doing it. My wife's doing this. But we got some, you know, if I had it on had another phone, I could show you. I got a picture on my phone. But it's going to have, they're going to be, the first one, I kind of wanted some yellows and greens and stuff like that. But my wife insisted on getting a Carolina blue, North Carolina blue. So you North Carolina people going to love it, I reckon. But we tried it. She kind of liked the blue. She figured like every man likes blue. It's going to have a green, you got to love it symbol up and down. And it looks sharp now. And the Old Fisherman across here. And on the back is going to have my little fish thing with the 3 fish. And the Old Fisherman will be rode on the boat. And that's what it's going to be, I think. And of course, it might have my name on the back because to be able to advertise through the YouTube channel, we had to have some kind of advertisement on it. And so it's Steve Cumlander, and I, on YouTube, I'll be on the back. But that's what the shirts, and they're going to be blue. The first ones, you got to buy them 100 at a time. Or if I'd have bought 200, I could have saved $1 or $2. Hey, I can't stick my neck out on a limb for no $2,000 worth of shirts. So I got to see how the first 100's going to do. And if they work, if that works, we're going to come up with different designs and different colors. And I'm going to tell you up front, the double extra large and the bigger cost a lot more money. And I'm not going to order them right now. So you big fellas might have to, I might have to wait till the next batch. Because I got to order 100 times. Or I got to pay $2 or $3 a shirt more if you start ordering just a couple. Now, I can order just a couple, but they're going to be, if you got to have them and want over a single extra large, it'll take a while to get them in. It probably won't take that long to get them in. That's just going to cost more unless I can put them in on an order. The double extra large and bigger cost more anyhow than the regular, the mediums up to extra large. So it's going to cost more up front, probably a couple dollars more for the bigger ones. And if I got to have a rush order, it's going to cost a couple dollars more than that. So I will, if I get orders and y'all can wait, I will order after the first 100 gets gone. It looks like they're going to go. I'll order some more. And I'll get different colors. But hey, they got yellows with green. I like the yellow, but my wife didn't buy no yellow. Somehow or another, she buys what she wants. I don't know. I reckon she's doing it. I better shut up. I'm fortunate to have my wife, and I better shut up right now. Because I don't want that redhead mad at me. Listen, that woman, I said before, she don't talk. And that bothers me. But if you ever get her riled up enough to talk, she can talk. And you ain't going to like what you got to hear. Huh. I learned that the hard way. My goodness. My goodness. She got it mad at me one day and come in there like a cat coming in the house ready to claw somebody. My goodness. I hadn't seen that redhead before. That was the old sissy. I thought I had a sassy. When she got a haircut, she went from sissy to sassy. She was a hellion one night there. Oh my God. Old Fisherman got to be, hey, she knows how to put me in line. And I hate to say that because I like to be in charge. But I'm going to tell you fellas one thing that like to be in charge. You in charge till mama ain't happy, then you ain't in charge no more. So you need to remember that. At least that is like it is at my house. If I got a weak side, it's my wife. And hey, and I hate to admit that on film. That woman, she controls. And she does it in a way that you don't even know she's doing it. Smarter than the old fisherman is what you call that. But anyhow, let's get on to the subject and get back to focusing. Here I am again telling a story. We caught a lot of fish. I mean, I got a pile of them, and about like yesterday when I started telling a story, nothing. Then after I told the story, I went back to focusing and wore them suckers out. I don't know how many fish I caught in between my videos yesterday, but I wore them out. And then after that last video just cut off, well, guess what? It wasn't but a few minutes after that I come up and I done my closing thing. And then I find out, hey, it already cut itself off. It cuts itself off, and for a couple minutes it sits there like it's running. I don't have good enough eyesight to see how many minutes is left, or if it says 0, that means it's done cut itself off. And I can't see from up here back there, and so I don't know. And I'm looking up there and I see a picture. I got it where I set up, I can see myself in it. If you turn the camera around where you can't see yourself, it does a better picture, but it's more of a bird's eye. So I do better when I can turn it to see my picture, and that puts my speaker in the back of the phone, and when I'm holding the boat toward the wind don't blow into the speaker. If you turn it around to get the more bird's eye and the better quality is from the other side. The 720 or whatever quality is to the other side. When a lot of times I'm doing a 4 something up here on this side. And but if you got any kind of wind, it'll drive you nuts trying to do it the other way because the wind's blowing. I'm holding against the wind. The wind's blowing in front, down toward there, and the speaker's in the front the other way. And it blows through that speaker, and it makes an awful noise. They tell me there's a sponge you can put in it, but I ain't going. Hey, it's been all right here lately. Unless it's a real bad windy day, I ain't got no problem. But hey, that's why I do it like I do it, because I can see myself up there and see if I'm in position. The other way, I don't know. I love to sit here and do a video, and that whole time it's done shifted around, and that you can't even see me. And I've done that before and had to delete it. So hey, this stuff's kind of tough to do. But anyhow, I'm gonna let y'all go with this little short video. We caught a few. I'm gonna crank it back up, but I want to tell you about Hunting Island State Park. Wonderful place to go for a vacation. We were set up to go shrimping down there last year, and the storm come in right the darn week we were supposed to go, right before the week before we were supposed to go, and tore the place up. And I was looking forward to going back shrimping, and who knows? I keep saying I'm too old. We got to drive 2 vehicles. We go down there, but I do love to go shrimping. I don't know if any of y'all ever went shrimping. You bait for shrimp with poles, and you mix up clay balls and fish meal. I got a combination of red clay, white clay combination I like to use, and a mixture of fish meal, about a third of each. And hey, it works, but it's a lot of work throwing that net, a lot of work clipping heads off. And we used to go out past Morgan Island. It was so far out there. And I used to go by myself, people, and I done it with a trolling motor. I'd catch a lemon strip myself with a trolling motor. And you talking about work, that will kill you. But hey, I did it for years. I'd go down there and I'd catch me a couple lemons of shrimp in 2 days, and I'd head back, stay one night. I kept my camper tucked in the woods campground, and I'd keep it down there. And a lot of times I'd leave my bike back when I wasn't fishing as much. I was more into shrimping at that point. I mean, I was always a fisherman, but when I learned, Rock Monteith told, I don't know if anybody knows Rock Monteith.
He used to fish the FLW. Good fisherman, a good friend of mine. We won bass tournaments together. I've been to Lake Ontario fishing with him. He taught me a lot about that ocean, and I'll give him credit. He taught me where to go to catch flounder. He taught me where to go, how to do shrimping. But anyhow, I got where I was doing it by myself, and I loved it, but it worked me to death. I'm a tough old man now, but I'm getting too old to do that by myself. If I was to fail out that boat at night out there where I was at, right almost into the ocean, about 4 miles past Morgan Island, if any of y'all know where Monkey Island is, out in Beaufort, I would go out and that flat out there, way out there, and it wouldn't be nothing. When you had to go out there on low tide, but you could catch them out there in the daytime if you caught it just right, and when the water was muddy. So you catch shrimp in the daytime when you got muddy water. If you got clear water, you got to do it at night. Just a couple of hints real quick before I go. But hey, I used to catch them and work and bring them shrimp home and had me a ball. But I worked myself to death doing it, but ain't nothing like good fresh shrimp. I love them babies. Them shrimp down there around Beaufort, they don't get to. Most of the shrimp you buy at the grocery store is not Beaufort shrimp. Them things farm raised, and they just don't have the taste. Them ones down there around Beaufort and the coast, Bulls Bay, all them's good eating shrimp. Them ones in the farm don't eat the same. And they're fresh, they good too. You take them things and fry them fresh, you can hurt yourself. Oh my God. I use that tempura batter. I don't mix the liquid. I want a soft crust on them. That, my friend, is some good eating fried. You don't want to over fry them. You don't fry them long. A shrimp gets done quick. I'm telling you. And I like to leave the tails on it and chew on them too. That's some good eating. But I learned how to do all of that. Listen, I'm a river rat, an ocean rat, and a lake rat. And that's what I am. I've done a lot. And I got a lot of knowledge from that. But I'm telling you, I cannot catch fish and talk at the same time, and you can see it unless they just quit. All over this flat, I don't see them now. I see shad, but I don't see the fish. Them shad, like I told you yesterday, comes in groups, and the fish is little hooks behind it. And when they're thick, they get a lot of yellows with hooks in it. And like I say, I'm using a 550C Gorman, and that's what I'm using. And I'll show you right now. Before I go, I'm gonna show you what shad looks like on a fish finder if I don't turn it off. The Old Fisherman, I'll turn this thing off in a minute. But you see, right in there, that's the bottom, and look at all them shad there. There's a couple fish right there. I don't know if you can see them or not. There's a couple fish right there. Right there. And them, see them groups of shad, that bottom's way down here. That's shad laying all over the bottom. We're in 35 foot of water. This is the blown up section. This is the same thing as on this side. I always use the split screen. Always use the split screen. So this is the blown up part of the top to the bottom here on that little screen. But this big screen is what I use. I blow up, right here it says from 20 foot to the bottom. So that 4 times bigger than what you see. A same screen, but that you see the bigger picture. And I'm going to beat on the boat. See if we can bring something in for you. A lot of times you beat on the boat, you can see fish come up. I don't know if it'll happen, because I probably ain't on no fish. See right here now, you got a fish kind of rose up off the bottom right there. See right there? That's him on the blown up screen. See that yellow and orange? That's a fish. There's another one. See that? Just that little bump. Just that little bump and flirt a few fish up. Now, when they get there, they get a lot more than that. But it's 1 or 2 fish laying right under me. And there comes a couple more. But not my doggone fish finder out. But I ain't seeing them. See, the fish ain't there. When you beat on the boat and there's a lot of fish around, they gonna come to it to see what the world happened. And we're getting a few. You see this stuff right here's the bottom. All this purples and stuff right there is fish laying there. It could be perch laying right on the bottom, and you're not gonna recognize it until you get down and start fishing and they flare up. There comes some more. See right here? See right there? That's a fish. That's the way it looks. And all them blues right there, is probably I have it zoomed in too much and my sensitivity's cut back. So that's some static is what that is. And normally you don't see that. I don't know why I'm seeing that in there. But that's nothing but static. You disregard all this little blue stuff.
But that's kind of what I want to show you. Hey, we got a mess of fish already. See what we just caught? There's some nice perch in that barrel. You see my barrel? That's my live well, man. Want to see my live well? Right here, you seeing it. A 55-gallon drum, and I made that thing to dump shrimp in. I was just talking about with my throw net. Hey, the Old Fisherman, he improvises. This is not, I put carpet in this old boat. It's trashy, it's dirty. I need to clean it up. Hey, I fish too much. But this boat was bought for shrimping, and you see it. And then we got all this junk in the back here, and we got a little 25 Yamaha pull start, not even electric start. Hey, how simple can a man get? Huh? Nothing to tear up, and we'll see you.